Indiana Jones and the Snooze Fest of Destiny. Dial of Destiny. Wow, what a disappointment.
So why don't you give your mouth a rest?
Indiana Jones is a different character in this film. Basically, he's no fun. He's a grumpy old man. The idea of him aging and reaching the end of his career dominates the story so much that it loses the essence of what we always loved about Indy. In the previous movies, Indiana Jones was completely about fun, adventure, energy, mischief and heroics. This one is about aging and adjusting to a new stage in life, and is very downbeat and melancholy. It's fine to do that, but I don't feel it fits in with Indiana Jones too well. It strips the heart out of the film and the character. There were many ways to discuss Indy aging out without making the film, quite frankly, depressing.
We are going to die!
These ideas seem to take over and give it this glum feeling. Harrison Ford as Indy is just as grumpy and bored as he seems in real life these days.
Please, stop asking me anything.
It's the wrong character to take this approach with. No one wants to see Indiana Jones lose that light behind his eyes. I have to say I ended up bored watching Harrison Ford, who doesn't want to be there, playing Indiana Jones like he also doesn't want to be there. And who on earth would want to watch Indiana Jones lose his faith and hope in life when the movies were always about the exact opposite? Indy's new co-star, Helena Shaw, played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, is one of the weakest characters in the whole series. As well as her being pretty annoying, there's none of that classic chemistry Indy used to have with his fellow adventurers. In fact, all this lady seems to be in the film to do is put down Indy and remind us his best days are behind him, as if we didn't already know. I don't know, she just comes across as smug and arrogant and stuck up, really. She softens as the film goes on and the relationship builds a little bit. I just didn't feel like she was charismatic enough to share the screen with Harrison Ford. The villain, played by Mads Mikkelsen, was criminally underutilised. I loved his performance during the third act, especially on the plane. His unstable expressions and genuine shock at what he had just achieved in spite of Indy. That whole crazy idea near the end of the movie had so much potential and Mads could have really delivered with it. This guy was born to play an Indiana Jones villain. So why is he written to be so painfully boring? Why is everyone doomed under this dark cloud looming over this movie? Where's the passion and the enthusiasm in this so-called adventure film? And the action scenes were nothing special. They lacked the Spielberg touch, with James Mangold struggling to bring the set pieces to life. It's like they're going along at slow motion, with no urgency or joy. I know I shouldn't compare today's Indy with the past, but I couldn't help thinking of the crazy, fast-paced action of Temple of Doom, or the innocent, light-hearted chases of The Last Crusade. I just sat there thinking, I would rather be watching those films. Some of these action set pieces didn't flow very well at all, just felt awkward, and I could really notice the messy CGI. I've got to be honest, I found myself really missing Spielberg, as he understands Indiana Jones. And say what you want about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, it was still fun, it was still escapist entertainment, and the action scenes were much better.
How hard can it be?
The last act in this film is truly preposterous and all over the place, but it could have actually been pretty fun if they'd have just gone with it, instead of bringing down the mood and making the whole final act all about the fact that Indiana Jones pretty much doesn't have anything left to live for. The craziness of this end scene and this whole idea didn't bother me. I wasn't someone who had a problem with the fridge scene in Crystal Skull, so time travel to me is fine. I want Indy to be ridiculous and absurd. I was begging for a bit of that. But the problem is they ruined this crazy combination, this very interesting idea, by taking it far too serious and asking us to do the same. I must admit though, the very end scene is where the melancholy style actually works. And I would have kept this scene, because that's all you really needed. Perhaps have Indy realise at the end that he's alone and needs someone, and there's just a few scenes of sadness instead of the whole film. Don't get me wrong, I love melancholy movies. I love honest depictions of aging and the struggles of life. But I think you have to be really careful how you inject something like that into Indiana Jones. I went in expecting one last fun roller coaster with Indy, and instead I climbed onto a ride that refused to move, with the constant sound of a dead engine trying to get started in the background.
Yes, it's the mileage.
What did you think of the new Indiana Jones? Am I being harsh? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for reviews, analysis and breakdowns for Movie Geeks. Thanks for watching.